Welcome to P3, I'm Randall Mark. This is a show that explores the fascinating people, places, and perspectives that make up our world. On today's show, the hit band Marianas Trench is in studio playing acoustically. This is P3. Award-winning Canadian rock band Marianas Trench is making a name for themselves on the music scene. Their hit singles Cross My Heart and Beside You are getting massive radio playtime across the country. And their videos are always entertaining, and they join me in studio. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thanks for having us.
I love it. This is an absolute treat for me. Talk to me about this. What's it like being grabbed by 604 Records, Chad Kruger, and saying, you guys are good? What was that like?
I don't know that it was necessarily like that. It was a little more like us chasing them and them chasing us. I mean, I think the days of being discovered while you were singing to yourself at a gas station or whatever, I think those days are pretty much gone. I don't feel like it was that. It was more like us hounding them forever. And then sort of when they started the label. But is that what it takes
to make it? You're saying there has to be a tenacity. You have to be able to say, I'm good, I've got to show myself.
These days, I don't think any record label is just looking for talent. They're looking for people who know how to promote themselves and do all that stuff, because it's so hard with the industry conditions that if you at least bring them some sort of fan base, it's more worth their time and a little bit less risk.
So, and that's what you guys brought. You brought a fan base. You guys have been playing for a while. You knew what you're doing, and you convinced them of that.
Yeah, arguably we knew. Arguably we know now what we're doing.
Yeah.
But yeah, our tenuous grasp on the music business was there, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, your videos are kind of cool. I mean, you had this line. You said, listen, I like playing. You like doing videos. And I don't like just being a band looking dangerous. That's dull. You guys like having fun in your videos.
Well, I don't think anyone ever accused us of looking dangerous and cool. So
I wouldn't mind looking dangerous like James Bond.
Yeah,
with the gun.
Dangerous,
but that's about the.
I think that works for some bands, and I don't think it would work for us because I don't think people would have fallen for it.
Like they go, you guys aren't that dangerous.
Yeah, because we're not
pretty
really those
transparent
guys, right?
You're not dangerous guys.
No. Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty good with a cat o' nine tails and a butterfly knife, in a alley shindig. But I think really you got to be yourself. I think a long time ago we sort of realized that if we were sort of dorks anyway. So if we just acted like that, people will accept us as that. And when you're not worried about trying to look cool all the time, it becomes cool just to be yourself.
Well, people get that. You guys are real. You're authentic. It's fun. The videos you're drawn in. Go. These guys are having fun.
Yeah, I remember before we shot our first video, we recorded our record. Dave Gem was the producer. He's from Matthew Good Band. He's like, whatever you do your first video, don't take any risks. Just look cool. That was the only advice he gave us. Like, okay, Dave. Yeah. So then I ended up doing like a flash dance thing, and Ian was like some crazy tea party guy, and we were all doing. It was like, sorry, Dave. And
I love it. Hey, tell me what the first song you guys are gonna sing.
Beside You.
Also known as the Lion King song.
The Lion King song.
Yes.
So here we go. This is Beside Me. Beside You.
Beside You.
Beside You, Marianas Trench.
Pretense, and your tired eyes refuse to close and sleep in your defense. When it's in your spine, like you've walked 4 miles, and the only thing you want is just to be still for a while. Away, away. If your heart wears thin, I will hold you up, and I will hide you. If it gets too much, I'll be right beside you. I'll be right beside you. When you're overwhelmed and you've lost your breath, and the space between the things you know is blurry nonetheless. When you try to speak, but you make no sound. And the words you want are out of reach, but they've never been so loud. And if your heart were where you stand, I'll hold you up, and I will hide you. If it gets too much, I'll be right beside you. I'll be I will stay here beside you. Trust in me, don't pull away. Just trust in me, trust me. I'm just trying to keep it together, 'cause I could do worse and you could do better. When your tears are spent on your last pretense, and your tired eyes refuse to close and sleep in your defense. If your heart wears thin, I'll hold you up, and I will hide you. If it gets too much, I'll be right beside you. Nobody will if your heart wears thin, I'll hold you up, and I will if it gets too much, I will stay here beside you.
Wow. You guys, your voices are like amazing. I love this. I can't wait for more. Stick
you.
around, more P3 right after this. Welcome back to P3. Marianas Trench is a Canadian rock band that's topping the charts with their latest album, Masterpiece Theater. They join me again in studio. Welcome back.
Masterpiece Theater.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have to say it with that little bit of that. It's an amazing title. I love it. Marianas Trench. It's a cool name. Where did you get this idea from using the deepest ocean in the deepest trench in the ocean?
No, that was named after us.
Okay, yes, you were first, and then the
We were
trench
first.
came.
Yeah.
Why the band name?
Well, Aerosmith was taken,
Right. Next.
and then we were going to be Nickelback, and then that was taken.
So then Marianas Trench is the
And then-
logical next.
Yeah. It was either that or Donnie on Marie, and we thought we thought people get us confused with the other act. So yeah, Marianas Trench was just the
kind of a
obvious.
cool- it's
It
cool.
was right there. It was
Yeah.
just waiting for someone to grab it.
Well, there's some depth, and I'm sure there are metaphors that you could go on and on that. Tell me about this album, Masterpiece Theater. What's unique about it? What were you guys trying to achieve in this album?
I think from the writing standpoint, I was really trying to do. I wanted it to feel like there's a lot of pop songs on it and stuff, but the songs that weren't going to be singles, that weren't necessarily geared at being pop songs, I really wanted to just play a little more with it creatively and just try and do some stuff we hadn't done before. So the idea was to do it kind of like a musical, sort of where there was like the opener number with the whole cast kind of thing. And
Big
then-
ensemble piece.
yeah, and then there's sort of the beginning of the second act where it's sort of a reprise of the first one, but sort of like the symphonic reprise as you go back and you sit down and stuff. So there's a lot.
Did
of
it work like that when you're
Yeah,
down here?
yeah,
it
it
works
works like that. And then the end, the last track on it is like the climax of the whole thing. And in any good musical, the climax piece always has like each character coming back and sort of reprising their song and it medleys. So what I wanted to
Wow.
do was have the last song on the album sort of have a little quote from every song on the record sort of intertwining at the same time, which was a very ambitious idea. And I was scared about it because I was like, let's do that, you guys. And then we went into the studio and I started writing it. And I went,
It's
oh,
incredibly
God.
complex to think about an album like a piece of. I'd love to see like Marianas Trench, the musical.
Oh, well, you know,
We were just talking about.
never mind. But yeah,
That's
we're
actually-
talking about that maybe.
That's very cool. Tell me about this song, Cross My Heart. Tell me about it.
Cross My Heart? I don't know. It was the first single off the album. You kind of had.
I wrote it in Kamloops in a hotel.
Yeah, it was one of the first recorded songs too, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Kamloops
And,
is this place that has inspired
oh,
so many
yeah,
poets
that's
over
right.
the years.
Yeah, it's funny actually. The last time we were in Kamloops, we played on the news, and we actually played beside you and started laughing during the live
It's
broadcast.
a live thing.
There was a live thing, and the four of us started laughing while going like, oh, hey, oh, hey, oh. This was kind of, oh, hey, oh. And they cut us short, and they got angry at us. We're not invited back to the news there.
Well, yeah, but it was the town that inspired the song, so let's check it
Exactly.
out. Let's hear it is Cross My Heart with Marianas Trench.
See, here's another day I spent away from you. Another night I'm on another broken avenue. My bag is ripped and worn. Did I get no soul mine?
Take what you wanna take, what you wanna take, what you.
I miss the stupid things. We'll go to sleep and then you wake me up and kick me out of bed at 3 a.m. Pick up the phone and you say dirty things to me.
Do what you wanna do, what you wanna do, what
Oh,
you.
take me with you. I start to miss you.
Take me home, I don't wanna be alone tonight.
And I do want to show you I will run to you till I can't stand on my own anymore. I cross my heart and hope to die. Cross my heart and hope to. Hotels are all the same. You're still away from me. Another day, another dollar that I'll never see. Gonna get a piece of something good.
Lie just a little, lie just a little, lie just a little.
I wonder what you're doing. I wonder if you doubt it. I wonder how we used to ever go so long without it. And I know where to go. I'm coming back to you.
I'll be where I ought to be, where I ought to be, where
Oh,
I.
take me with you. I start to miss you.
Take me home, I don't wanna be alone tonight.
And I do want to show you I will run to you till I can't stand on my own anymore. I cross my heart and hope to die. Oh, take me with you, I start to miss you. Take me with you, I start to miss you.
Take me with you, I start to miss you. Take me with you, I start to miss you. Take me with you, I start to miss you. Take me with you, I start to miss you.
Take me with you, I start to miss you. Take me with you, I start to miss you. Take me with you, I start to miss you. Take me home, I don't wanna be alone tonight. I want to show you I will run to you till I can't stand on my own anymore. I cross my heart and hope to
Cross my heart, I hope to die, hope to die. Cross my heart, I hope to die, hope to die. Cross my heart, I hope to die, hope to die.
cross my heart and hope to die.
Wow. You guys, I love your harmonies. This is incredible. You pull this music that's, when I'm watching the videos, it's like energy, but you can pull it back and have this really cool sound. Thanks for coming on the show, guys. It was awesome to have you.
Thanks for having us.
Make sure you check out Marianas Trench, their new album, Masterpiece Theater. More P3 right after this. Welcome back to P3. Galileo's view that the earth revolved around the sun challenged the Catholic Church. I had a chance to examine his beliefs with SFU's Dean of Arts and Social Science, Dr. Lesley Cormack. Dr. Cormack, one of your areas of research is Galileo and his interaction with the church. This is the 400th year of with the ideas that he kind of brought onto the table. When most people think about Galileo, they think he's revolutionized how science thinks about what is the center of the universe. Is it the Earth? Is it the sun?
Right.
Why was there a tension between his ideas and the church?
Well, first of all, I think it is important to recognize that Galileo was not the first person to say that the Earth was not in the center of the universe, that Copernicus, 100 years before him, said it. The reason that it was a problem for the church is that a lot of theology had been developed with the idea that the Earth was in the center of the universe. That first of all, the Earth was the least perfect part of the universe. So it was in the center as the place where sin was, because original sin, of course, had been on the Earth. But it was also the focus of the heavens, so that it was special. It was one different planet, as opposed to, well, it wasn't a planet at all. It was the Earth. It was in the center, and therefore you had Christ, one Christ, dies for us. All of God's concern can be focused in the center. If the Earth becomes just a planet, then it's no longer in the center, it's no longer special. And in fact, Giordano Bruno in 1600 had argued that there were other Earths because there were other planets that were revolving around other stars. And he claimed that there were therefore other Christs and other dispensations.
So now the issue of salvation becomes
absolutely.
In jeopardy.
That's right. That's right. In fact, Giordano Bruno was burned at the stake for that. So that was really serious stuff. So the church had a lot invested in a geocentric universe.
Now, when Galileo begins to write, I forget the name of the book. It's the dialogue concerning two systems.
That's right. The dialogue of the two chief world systems.
I hear he names one of the characters Simplicico or
Simplicio, yes.
And doesn't he put the words of this simpleton in Urban, the Pope's words in his mouth, and therefore mocks the Pope at some level?
Well, no, I think that's not quite right. I mean, it's very clear that Simplicio says the Aristotelian worldview, and that is the worldview that many people around the Pope were espousing. So you wouldn't have to be very smart to know that although, I mean, what Galileo says about that dialogue is he never says what he believes. He just has three people.
Here's the couple.
That's
but
right.
One could read into it.
Absolutely,
you are saying that
absolutely.
the Pope and the papacy is holding on to something that doesn't really fit with reason and science.
Well, but you see, what you have to understand about Urban VIII is he's a scholar. I mean, he was a humanist. He was a friend of Galileo's. And so Galileo is not mocking Urban VIII. He's giving Urban a chance not to be Simplicio, right?
So you're saying, please, just be a thinker.
Yeah, that's right.
Realize what I'm observing with my telescope.
Right, exactly.
And yet his ideas are considered heretical. And
no, well, yes. I mean, it's. I want to push.
I know there's a tension there, isn't there?
Right. That Galileo is never tried as a heretic. That Galileo is not in trouble with the church because he is espousing bad ideas. He's in trouble with the church because he disobeys the church.
But that's why he's put under house arrest then?
That's right. You see, the reason that he writes it as a dialogue is that he believes he's been told by the Pope that you're not allowed to hold or defend Copernicus's ideas, but he thinks he can talk about them. And so he writes this book to show that you can talk about them. Now, you know, that's a little disingenuous because clearly Galileo believes in the Copernican system. And really what he wants, he's a good Catholic. He dies a good Catholic. What he wants is the Catholic Church to be able to be part of the new science.
And yet, you know, in the history since that moment, you have many points in time where the Pope, even the most recent Pope, has realized, listen, how we treated Galileo was not right. What have you learned, and what has the Church learned from this dialogue between faith, reason, and science?
Well, again, I do want to say that for at the time, there were lots of natural philosophers, astronomers, who tried to continue on the work of Galileo, but to do it more carefully, so that this was not a moment where suddenly everything stopped. But it was true that Galileo, the trial and the house imprisonment of Galileo did stop Catholics from being able to do a lot of the science that they had been doing, and that a lot of that passed to the north, to the Protestant countries. So I do think that in the end, I mean, what Galileo says in the letter to the Grand Duchess Christina, I think is so important. He says, we cannot have science and scripture contradicting each other because they're about different things.
See, that to me is at the end of the day, this conversation is about that idea.
Exactly, that's right.
The Bible is not trying to be science.
Right.
It's revealing something completely different.
Exactly.
There's the book of science, there's the book of nature, and then there's the book of Revelation.
Right.
And they're asking and they're answering very different questions.
Right, and in fact, in the letter to the Grand Duchess, Galileo says, he quotes an early church father saying that the scripture does not tell, the scripture tells us how to go to heaven, not how the heavens go.
Wow. Thank you so much for the conversation. We learned so much from history, and your research is very, very fascinating. Thanks so much.
You're very welcome.
All the best.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, more P3 right after the break. Welcome back to P3. Make sure you check out our website for your favorite archived interviews and a schedule of upcoming shows. And if you have a question or comment for us, drop us an email to info@p3tv.ca. Thanks for watching. I'm Randall Mark.